Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking you through the time in chart. This isn't the video for time in or time out or anything like that. This is just about the time in chart. So if you're looking for that video, I'll connect a link. Alright, so this time in chart, you can see I've got this one framed. It's behind plastic and not glass because this is going to be used when a child or a young person is having a meltdown, and there's a good chance that they could knock it off the wall if they're having a meltdown. If they're not feeling good, if they're just overwhelmed with emotion, there's a good chance that they could, if this isn't framed, they're going to try and rip it or something like that. So it's best to have it framed and behind plastic, so if they did accidentally break glass, there's nothing to worry about there. All right, so the first part of it is what the child is feeling. So we've got some really basic feelings here, and we haven't labeled them with names because this way we can use it for different ages. So I've only got the basics here. So you've got angry, sad, scared, and a bit of a vague one. I've put it as green, so it could be jealous or something like that, because the example we're going to work through today is if a child had a meltdown because their brother or sister took their toy and then they punched them for it. So yeah, so I've left it vague, so that way with the littlies, they're only going to know basic emotions, so you can talk through it for that. For the older ones, they're going to know a bit more emotions like jealousy, like anger, like angst, like, agitated, those sorts of words. So what I'd suggest for the older kids, maybe above 5, starting to get into 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, is Googling a list of emotion words that you could stick next to this. A really good one is from Inside Out. If you Google Inside Out emotion list, there's a really good list there. So yeah, so we've kept it basic. The other thing with what I'm feeling when you talk about this with the child is remembering to remind them that you can feel more than one feeling at one time. So you can feel angry and sad, you could feel angry and scared, you could feel sad and scared, because we want to make sure that they start to understand that it's a number of things. You could feel a number of things at once, and that really builds their emotion vocabulary and their emotional intelligence as well. I think a lot of us who grew up a little while ago didn't get taught this. So a lot of us really struggle to verbalize emotions and verbalize that, hey, I'm angry by what happened, but I'm also sad by what happened too. So if you can start a child with this, already leagues above the rest. So I definitely recommend that. Okay, so the next part of this is how much I feel it. So again, with really littlies, probably below 7 to below 8, there is a bit of black and white thinking, all or nothing thinking, where I'm either really angry or I'm not angry at all, or I'm sad to the max, not sad at all. When really, we need to start teaching them that they can feel a little bit angry or a little bit agitated. So this is where we've got the how much I feel it. So we've got sort of a scale here from 1 to 5. So 5 is I feel it a lot and need some help now, exclamation point. So this is when they're right at the height of their meltdown, very, very high. A 1 is if they're just a bit agitated and they've sort of pulled you aside because they're wanting to chat. This is probably going to be the kid who's been doing this for a while. Bit of practice. You're not going to do a 1 straight away. So yeah, so 1 to a scale here, just again starting to teach them that there's levels of anger and sadness and feeling scared, those sorts of things, and sort of growing from there. And you'll find when you start using this, you'll be able to do time in different places. So you'll be able to be in the car somewhere and sort of debriefing after, a party or after an incident and going, what happened there? And they'll be able to go, I was angry at a 5, but I was a bit sad to a level 3. And then you can start having those, conversations about, okay, well, what would have made your anger go back down to a 1 or go back down to a 3? So once you've been using this for a while, it really opens up conversation you can have that really can bring their emotions back down. Because if you can imagine children and adults, when you can't verbalize things, it just gets pushed down and it feels like this volcano is going to burst. So when you start being able to talk about emotions like this with your child, you're going to find the intensity of the emotion is going to drop dramatically. The next part is it feels like. This is really about connecting their emotions with their body and how they can notice the cues in their body of what they're feeling. So for a lot of young people that I've worked with and a lot of the other practitioners who've helped develop this worked with, kids will say things like, I feel it in my hands, like I can just feel it in my fists, like I just want to punch something, or I just have it, it just holds a lot of their hands. We've got this one, which is like an exploding head emoji, where it just feels like, oh, I just want to explode. Like my head just feels like it's going to pop off. Hot. A lot of young people feel hot when they're angry. Some young people, if they're feeling sad or scared, they feel sick, they feel nauseous, feel it in their stomach. Also, crying, just feels like I want to cry. I've got tears in my eyes. And we've left a little bit of a blank space there just to add to it. So really get them to start noticing, do I feel it in my head, in my arms, in my hands, in my legs? Where am I feeling this emotion? Again, so they can start realizing their body cues in different social situations. All right, so the next part of this chart is what I need to help me feel better. So, pretty explanatory. This is about what I need to calm down, to regulate, to, be able to get back to entering the situation, because this is what we're using time in for. We're taking them out of the situation, having time in with them so they can re-enter the situation, whatever it may be after. So this person who's gotten a fight with their brother or sister because they've taken a toy, they're feeling angry or sad, they're feeling anger to a 5, they're feeling sad to a 3, feels like their hands are tight and they're really hot and their head's gonna pop off, and they feel like crying a little bit. So they might say, okay, I need some hugs and some quiet time. And then you could also, a lot of young people find that drinking a glass of water just helps them, again, be in touch with their body and calm down a bit. Having something to eat, I think everyone knows what hunger feels like. So if your kid's a bit hangry, just making sure they've got the option to have something to drink, have something to eat, that kind of thing. Playing on my own. So some kids just need to be alone for a moment just to calm down, and that's where they can do activities like drawing. And again, always add to this. If there's more you want to add to it, definitely do that. And the bubble breathing. So bubble breathing is around getting kids to do what some people will call square breathing, diaphragmatic breathing. We really want them to envision, and you can have bubbles for this. And I'll talk about a sensory box in a minute, but doing the bubble breathing, where if you imagine blowing bubbles, you can't do it with a fast breath out. It has to be a slow, long breath out. So we really want to teach kids to big, slow, long breath in, hold it at the top, and then slow breath out like you're blowing bubbles. And you can have literal bubbles if you're happy to do that. And just teaching them to do that a few times so that they learn to do the long, slow breathing, which can really help calm them down. And it's fun with bubbles. Everybody loves bubbles. And then the final part of this is what I need to come back to the situation. So again, there's room underneath here if you want to add to it. So these might be offering a hug, saying sorry, being kind, or being calm. So for the situation that we spoke about, this young person then had a glass of water and they did some bubble breathing, and now they need to say sorry, be kind, and they might want to offer a hug to their brother or sister. They don't have to. We just kind of want to see where the child wants to go with it. If they want to give a hug, great. If not, they don't have to. You might not be, encouraging that between them, but just teaching them that. And then again, with the saying sorry, again opens up a vocabulary around what does a good apology look like, and I'll do another video on that, but really opening that up. So you can see how this can be used with the feeling better. Like I mentioned about a sensory box, it's really good to have a box of activities that you can use for the time in. So again, having bubbles for the breathing, having some drawing stuff ready to go, maybe having a water bottle or some snacks in there, maybe even having some music and some headphones, something like that, so they can use music. That's a really common one that a lot of kids use. And making sure it's something that they can't access all the time, because it's like kind of loses its novelty. It's really just about regulating myself so I can enter the situation in a calm way again. Does that all make sense? I hope so. If you have any questions, please send us a message, email us, contact us. You can do that on our Facebook page or our website, and go for it. We've got a digital version on the website, and we also have this framed version if you want this posted to you as well. So they're both on the website. You can purchase there. All right, thanks.